be providing what is happening on the island, in and around the island, and kudos to the team working there. Of course, talking about team and working, we have a new team member who is actually part of our system and within the media fraternity, but she completed her CSEC and she is currently doing an internship before she goes into sixth form. And we found it fitting to have that kind of conversation, to just get a glimpse into her personal development, but more so for her to provide, I guess, some real life experience for young ones who may be in this particular position, this transitionary period, where you're going from fifth form into sixth form and your mind may or may not be looking at your future. So I want to welcome this morning Hadassah Beckles. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All right. First time on television?
Yes.
All right. So let's start there. You finished CSEC and what? You wanted to do an internship? How? I was looking for a work. What was the situation between doing your examination and, well, to date?
I wanted to get some time to be able to help myself in between the transition from going from one school to another. I felt like I needed a little bit of time, so I found that internship and it was a big help.
And naturally you would have learned some skills that you probably didn't even tap into before. What are some of the skills you would have learned thus far?
I've learned about how to stay motivated. I've learned about different topics of etiquette, how to public speak, so many things.
In terms of surprises, right? So you would function within school, and I mean, naturally doing the CSEC examination, you would have been a seasoned campaigner in the secondary school system, but coming into the working world, anything surprised you?
What surprised me was how it was such a different environment, because in school, you know, it would be so loud and all of that, and they would always have to be pushing yourself and always be doing so many things. I mean, in work you would be pushing yourself, but it's a different type of push compared to school.
And as you talk about pushing yourself, is it that you naturally someone who would self-motivate?
Yes.
Are you competitive? Or are you now seeing, boy, in this type of life to really make it out here, you had to have that cutting edge? What is your natural way of functioning within varying environments?
Naturally, I find myself being very competitive. I have siblings, so we always competing to see who does the best. And to be honest, I find that's a okay environment, because you know, you always have to continue to try and push yourself more and more and more, right? Not that you have to be too competitive all the time, but you know, you have to always be looking at doing something more than what you're doing.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with an intern here this morning, Hadassah Beckles, and just looking at her perspective in terms of the school system and the, I guess, early stages of the professional career. Just going back to the school system, says your school has been noisy and there's a totally different environment.
Yeah.
But thinking about sixth form, right? I can speak personally when you do your CSEC exam, because that is really big exam at first. You have to make sure you get your passes and so on. And you're preparing. Fourth form is pressure, fifth form is pressure. But sixth form, at least in my time, I was thinking, all right, sixth form, then what? Are you already thinking ahead in terms of where you want to be placed after sixth form, or the focus at the moment is to complete the internship and try to your best to function and be successful in this school system in sixth form?
After sixth form, because I want to study in the medical field, I would have to go to a type of university afterwards. So that was always my plan since I was younger. I always wanted to study medicine. So I always had this plan in my head. I'll do CXC, then I'll go sixth form and then uni.
Okay, so at the moment, it's really just about getting as much experiences in different environments as possible before you move on. But in terms of balancing, because technically you are a professional already, and balancing professional work and being a student. Is that difficult?
It can be. Sometimes you'll have your ups and downs. Sometimes you would be thinking, this is real plenty work and you have to, oh gosh, I had to go and do this and this and this. And then it'll just be very overwhelming. And then other times you'll just be thinking it's just a breeze. But what you have to do, you have to stay focused. Sometimes you should write down the things you have to do and put them in order, what you think is from most important to the least important, to be able to navigate how you're about to go through all those problems.
Priorities.
Yeah.
That could be difficult, you know. And of course, you are already seeing how important that is. And again, you're heading into sixth form. What would you say are some things that you could definitely add to the way how you look at life in terms of preparing for your studies, to continue your studies? Would you say anything in the internship is helping you to shape that that mindset?
Yes, it helping me in terms of interacting with more people.
Right.
Right, because in school, you know, you'd interact with a few people, but then it wouldn't be as much because you'd interact with your little teachers or whatever, but then some of the students you wouldn't want to interact with. But I feel like during this internship, I've interacted with so many people, all kinds of different people throughout the work and the workshops that I was in before coming here. And so that for sure would help me so much when I go in sixth form, to help me get more opportunities and so on.
So naturally, I'm assuming that you are going to do more science-related subjects,
Yes.
seeing that you mentioned medicine. Does the internship, I don't know, blur that at all, or you are laser focused on the medical fraternity and confirm if it's science subjects you're about to do in sixth form?
Yes, still focus on the science.
Right.
Although what I'm doing here doesn't really have to do much with science, but it helps with life skills in general.
Correct.
So that is what might help me in the future.
Now, persons would say that, so you're studying to be a doctor and you're doing medicine and stuff. That's real. You have to study hard. You have to be real bright and stuff. How are you beginning the process, if you haven't as yet, to ensure that you are committed and focused on this particular pathway towards the medical fraternity? Because, I mean, we all should know by now that it's no easy pathway to become a doctor. Tell us.
I think I've done a lot of research about all kinds of different things in the medical field and outside of the medical field to make sure that this is something that I really, truly want to do. Because during the research, I found out that it was a lot of focus, very time consuming. It's just a lot of effort that you have to put in to go into the medical field. And I really sat with myself and I spoke and I was like, do I really want to do this? And every single time I asked myself that question, it was yes, every single time. So I feel like I've made that commitment by now.
And are you intimidated at all? And in terms of looking ahead, and because you're going into sixth form, and after sixth form, you're now looking to elevate your education and heading closer towards becoming a professional. Is there any intimidation, or is it more about excitement and anxiety?
I think it's everything. Like, I'm so excited and I'm slightly scared about what could happen, because you would think of different scenarios that might happen, but when it actually happens or when something different happens, you're not sure exactly how. Sometimes you would think of different scenarios and then what actually happens is completely different and you don't know how to navigate it. And I'm so excited for all these different experiences that are to come, and it's just mixed emotions about everything.
What are you looking forward to the most in the medical field? And did you mention what initially inspired you to go down this pathway?
No, I didn't.
Tell us.
When I was younger, I had this one doctor that I just loved. Something about how he would go about helping people. I just loved it. And I grew up watching Duck McStuffins, if anybody knows. And I loved her so much, how she would be helping the little stuffed animals. It was just very inspiring. And after that, ever since, I was just going around telling everybody I want to be a doctor.
A hero without a cape, basically. I mean, I want to wish you the best. I know you're going back into secondary school, sixth form, in terms of carrying what you would have learned and having the conversation with your peers. Is that part of the school system nowadays? Are friends having career conversations? I mean, you wouldn't be able to speak for everyone, but at least in your circles, is that part of how you all interact, or it's more kind of isolated in everyone doing their own individual studies?
It will come into the conversation every now and again, because you'll be wondering what you want to be when you get older. You'll be thinking, oh, what my friend gonna do, and da da da, so that maybe it have the chance that you and your friend want to go into the same field and you could help each other. You know, you have to lift up your friends with you. So I think that's important.
Fantastic. Anyone that you would, I mean, naturally, your parents, your peers should be giving you that support. But in terms of mentoring or anything, is there anyone in particular who is guiding you along this field, or you kind of taking it with the support that you get naturally from your parents and your peers?
Take it with the support and lots of research, right? You research about different things, different obstacles that might come, all kind of different problems, so that even if that exact thing doesn't happen, you know a kind of idea of how to navigate it.
And how does Miss Beckles go about keeping focus? I know you said that you would do your research, but we live in a time now where, yeah, you're going into sixth form, but social media is a big thing.
Right.
And the advancement of some of these digital technologies is available at your fingertips. That could, so although you're doing your research, you may go down into a rabbit hole. You may research in one thing, you see something else, and you get straight into something far off the rails that you would have initially been on. How do you maintain focus? And while I'm saying that, I take the opportunity to offer some advice to your peers in terms of staying laser focused on your dreams.
I think in order to stay focused, you have to keep your goal in mind. You have to think about all the things that you want to do. You have to keep in mind the reasons you want to do those things. And that's what's important, because all kind of things might happen to you, but once you have what you want to do in mind and you're sure about that's what you want to do, and you want to do that because of you and not because of anything, any kind of influence, I find that will really keep your focus. Because although you might go into the rabbit hole, you will come back out, and you would, because of the focus, you'll come out of that rabbit hole and you would know, all right, I can't do that again. I had to really stay focused. I had to really stay motivated. That's very important.
Yeah, fantastic. Hadassah Beckles with us this morning. She's preparing for sixth form, and she's preparing to become a doctor. Which doctor, by the way? Which you want to specialize, or you haven't thought about specializing as yet? Still early?
Yeah.
All right, okay. But we want to wish you all the best, of course. I know you're going back into sixth form, and that will be from next week, Monday?
No.
Sixth form starts when?
Later. I haven't gotten a date.
Okay. But in terms of the internship, before we close, the internship would come with surprises, as you mentioned. It'll come with challenges, but you would naturally absorb life skills. All right? Would it be, so after sixth form, you go into tertiary education, but in terms of working in the working environment or something outside of medical, is that something that you would continue to do? What I'm getting at is, are you also involved in extracurricular activities to help shape your development as well? Are you interested in that, or is strictly books?
No, I have some extracurricular activities. Right now, I am in a golf club.
Don't make joke.
So that's something that I do since I was small, since I was way younger, like primary school days. So that's something I really enjoyed since I was small. I told mommy, I want to start golf. And she put me in, and I've been there ever since.
Fantastic. And just take the opportunity to share with the young ones who probably may be listening this morning. I'm in a position now where they don't necessarily know what they want to do. They kind of caught up with, and nothing is wrong with that, but you're kind of unsure in terms of what direction to go. Just based on your experience, take the opportunity to share some words to offer some sort of encouragement, maneuvering this period in your life where you're going into sixth form, you just finished CSEC, and you're kind of not too sure what direction to go.
I think that you just have to really sit with yourself and ask yourself what kind of things you like to do and pick a career based on your interests. Because it have people who would pick a career and after a while they don't really like it and it doesn't match up with their interests, so they don't keep with it. So I think that doing that is really important. It have many worksheets online that you could find, and you'll pick your interests and it'll give like a career field for you. And I find those helpful based on your personality and based on what you like to do, your interests, and how you are motivated, different components.
And there are persons who would function in school, and you have your group and your circles, and you function better with amongst your peers, I should say. But for example, now you're working in an environment where you're doing an internship and it have no friends from school, but you have to find ways to still maintain your drive and to function in an environment that is efficient. In terms of the internship, just before we close, offer some advice for persons who may be considering, I mean, vacation is almost over, but maybe considering doing an internship or doing an early job before completing their studies or whilst completing their studies.
I think that doing things like that is very, very helpful. As I said, it teaches you so many different life skills, and it's just very helpful in general. Although it might not match up with your interests and your career path, it will help you in the long run. You will learn something. Some kind of challenge may come, and you will learn something based on your challenges, and some way you'll overcome that.
Fantastic. Hadassah Beckles with us this morning, just about at the tail end of completing her internship, but she's heading into sixth form to continue her studies and is very much on her way to becoming a hero without a cape. Yes, a doctor. Yes, from right here. And which part of Tobago you're from?
Lowlands.
She's from right here in Tobago, Lowlands to be specific. Thank you for being with us this morning, and I'm wishing you all the best. Any parting words?
Make sure to stay focused no matter what may come, because things will come, but just keep focused on what you want to do and your dreams and your interests.
Of course, and she also plays golf, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, all-rounded.